I'm going to show you the process of cleaning the parts. This is pretty simple if you have the correct tools. So I'll show you the tools that I use and the results that I get from cleaning the parts. This is a machine I use. It's from Vapor Honing Technologies. They have different models, and this one has the sprayer in the top that automatically cleans the window, and it's got an LED strip that runs across the top, and it's got a control box right here where you can make it to have different settings when you want it to spray to clean the window. And it's a pretty simple machine. This one I paid about $3,400 for. Here's the results of cleaning the parts, the ones I did clean and the ones that I have not cleaned yet. The great thing about this machine is that it uses water, and it provides more of a cleaning action than abrasive action. So it doesn't actually pit up the parts. I'll blast these parts so you can see the difference in what it looks like. These are rusted and oily. And the thing I like about this machine versus the dry one is where these have oil on them, I can just throw them in there and blast them up without having to clean them before putting them in the blaster. Here's what it looks like after I finish blasting these. Each housing takes about 5 minutes to do. I timed one and it took about 3 minutes 30 seconds before it was almost completed. So it's pretty quick, pretty easy to use. You just have to have the right tools to do the cleaning. If you're interested in one of these machines, you can contact Vapor Honing Technologies. They also have an Instagram. I found out about this machine from somebody that watches my channel, and I don't regret buying one. I use it a lot more than I do my dry blaster because I prefer the way that this machine operates. It doesn't create dust, which is harmful for you to be able to breathe in, and it also does a great job cleaning, but it's not too abrasive, but it's just right for some of the parts that I need to blast. I prefer this blaster over the dry blaster because the dust of the dry blaster is really harmful for your health, and with that, you breathing in the dust, that eventually will cause you to probably have some type of lung problems. For the water blaster, the thing I like most about it is that it's not as abrasive, but it's about perfect with what I need. And the cleanup, I think, is a lot better. With the dust ones, when you open the door, the sand just usually goes everywhere. But this one, you can wash the sand around in the blaster before you open the door. So it does have some perks like that. The disadvantage to it is it's not as abrasive as the dry blaster. So in some cases, we'll clean up the parts in the wet one before we move it to the dry one. Or we may just put something directly into the dry one. But even though it isn't as abrasive, I just put a bit heavier abrasive in the wet one. I use 180 grit. For the dry one, we also use 180 grit. I don't use anything other than 180 grit just because most of the parts that we're blasting need that type of abrasive. You can use like soda or glass beads. Those will put a really good polish finish and make the part look brand new, but with the application that I'm using, all these parts that I blast I end up painting anyway, so the grit that I use for these is exactly what I need.